You step outside with your coffee. The yard is quiet. The grass is still damp. And then you see it. A squirrel on the fence post, completely frozen, both eyes locked directly onto yours. Not a glance, not a passing look, a full, unblinking, deliberate stare that holds for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe longer. Most people smile. Maybe they wave. The squirrel eventually bolts and they go back inside and never think about it again. But here's the thing. That moment was not random. That squirrel was not scared. And it was not just looking at you. It was reading you. Running a calculation that most people will never understand. And by the end of this video, you will.
Welcome to Wild Yard Mind. If you're new here, subscribe before you leave, because what you're about to hear will permanently change the way you see every squirrel in your yard. Let's start with the stillness, because that's the part that almost everyone gets wrong. When a squirrel freezes and stares, the first thing people assume is fear. They think the animal spotted something big and locked up in panic. That explanation feels right. It makes intuitive sense, but it is not what's happening. Researchers who study squirrel behavior have documented something very specific about this freeze. The body posture stays balanced. The tail stays controlled. A squirrel in genuine fear doesn't stare at you. It runs. It flattens against a branch. It chatters a warning from somewhere safe and high. The stare is different. The stare is a working state.
Think about the last time you walked into a room and something felt slightly off. You stopped. You went quiet. Your whole body paused while your mind worked fast. That is exactly what the squirrel is doing on your fence post. It is not frozen by panic. It is gathering information at a speed you cannot match. In those 5 or 10 seconds, that animal is reading your face, your posture, your hands, the angle of your body, whether your eyes are pointing at it or somewhere else. And it is doing something else at the same time. Something that genuinely surprised researchers when they first found it. It is checking whether it has seen you before. Squirrels can distinguish individual humans, not human shapes, not human sizes, individual faces. Studies on urban and suburban gray squirrels have shown that these animals file specific people into specific categories based on past experience. A person who moved slowly last time, a person who once startled them near the feeder, a person who simply walks the same route every morning. They remember all of it, and they remember it by face.
So when that squirrel locked eyes with you this morning, it wasn't just looking at a person. It was asking a very specific question. Is this the human I already know, or is something different today? That question matters more than most people realize. Squirrels build a detailed mental map of what is normal in their territory. The angle of morning light, the sound of your back door, the exact spot where you usually set your coffee down. They know your schedule, sometimes better than you do. And every single morning, they are checking that map against what they actually see. When the stare happens, it usually means something shifted. You came out earlier than usual. You're wearing a hat you don't normally wear. You move toward a part of the yard you don't usually go near. The squirrel noticed the change before you even registered making one.
The stare is the squirrel asking, is this still the person I know? And here is the part that almost nobody thinks about. After the stare ends, the squirrel makes a decision. One of 3. It relaxes and keeps doing what it was doing. It moves up slightly and keeps watching you. Or it leaves completely, often with a sharp tail flick and a warning chatter for every other animal in earshot. That decision is not permanent. It is not emotional. The squirrel is not holding a grudge. It is running a calm, ongoing assessment of who in its territory is safe, who is unpredictable, and who is a problem. And it updates that file on you every single time you appear. What that means for your yard is something I think is genuinely worth sitting with. The squirrel staring at you from the fence has been watching you far longer than you have been watching it. It knows your patterns. It has categorized you. And when it chooses to hold that stare rather than simply flee, it has already made a preliminary decision in your favor. You are someone worth checking, not someone worth running from.
There is something quietly extraordinary about being studied that closely by a creature that weighs less than a pound.
And the fact that it chose to look at all rather than disappear the moment your door opened tells you more about what it has already concluded than most people ever stop to notice. Tomorrow morning, when you step outside, try something. Stay still. Don't move toward it. Give it the full length of the stare. Watch what it does when the scan finishes. Does it relax? Does it climb? Does it leave? That tells you exactly which category you have been placed in. Then come back and tell me in the comments what you saw. And tell me this, too. Have you ever had a squirrel stare at you in a way that felt almost personal? Like it was looking at you specifically? Tell me about it below. I read every single one. The squirrels in your yard have been paying attention for a long time. Now you are too. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for watching. If you're enjoying this video, do not forget to like and subscribe.